Hey there, everybody in the FFBE Global Facebook group, and hello to everybody who sees this video on YouTube as well. Welcome to another Ask an Old Mog video where we take a look at some questions and try and answer them in a visual way. Try and help people understand like how to play the game, learn and understand mechanics, sometimes how to make choices about resources they have. And today is one of those days where we look at resources that somebody has and talk about ways you might be able to use them efficiently, depending on how you want to play the game and what you have available to you. So this question actually came from a comment on last week's video where we talked a lot about vision cards, and I thought it would be useful to talk about. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So our question today comes from HS Gaming HD, somebody on YouTube, not in the Facebook group as far as I know. But the question was, while on the subject of vision cards, I have a ton of those permanent VC select card or tickets. Would it be worth noting the ones worth picking up, or are most of them forgettable? So if you're not familiar with these tickets, you get these tickets by upgrading a premium unit, a unit that only gets their vision card at EX3. You get the ticket from upgrading them to EX2. And depending on how much you pull and how lucky you are, you might have a lot of these tickets lying around. And most of the time, just by getting units and upgrading them to EX1, you're going to get most of the cards that are available in these banners. However, depending on your luck and depending on how you want to play, and there are a couple that are really useful that provide kind of niche utility that I think you might want to consider some of them. So if you're not familiar with where to get these, I'll go ahead and show you where, and we'll talk about them. Now, I will say that this list contains every vision card from a non-premium unit or a unit that can become kind of obtained freely from summoning a random Neovisions. The exception to that is that you cannot exchange for the new recently added element cards. Those only appear randomly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the shop. We're going to go to permanent exchange shops, and it's right here, Ticket Exchange Perma VC Select. This is only half of them. They recently added a second set of these all the way down at the bottom, Perma VC Select 2. What we're going to do is go through this list and pick out any that I think are actually worth picking up. Strict based on what they do, talk about why it's worth that. I'm going to assume that you're picking this card up because for some reason you've never gotten the unit that the card belongs to. And because of that, remember, you get these cards EX1 and 3. Sometimes you might get this card more than once. I won't talk about cards at all that I don't think are really worth considering at this point in the game's life. So we're going to start just by going into the first shop. Notice I have 27 of these tickets just by virtue of playing the game and kind of pulling on units normally. Getting premiums and things like that. We're gonna scroll down past the ones that I don't think are worth picking up from a ticket. Some of these are good just by virtue of what they do and how you get them, but we're gonna skip the ones that I don't think we should pick here. The first one is Virtual Training. This card will give you some Spirit True Double Hand, as well as immunity to all these different status effects, and because of that, it is sometimes useful to have this in your back pocket. Sometimes just being able to equip status immunity on a vision card slot is pretty good. This card is also kind of unique that it has a 7-star ability, so if you have a 7-star unit that wants spirit and HP, you can unlock this and give it to them, and they'll have more spirit and HP. Otherwise, it's just kind of a 25% true double hand spirit card and status immunity, which is, sometimes useful. The next one, we're going to scroll down past all of these to 500 Years of Grief. This card gives HP 20% for if you're wearing an axe and a fist, and you can get HP even more if you're wearing an axe and a fist, right? But if you happen to be a male unit as well, you also get 50% spirit and true double hands defense and spirit. So it's decent for if you're wearing an axe or a fist, okay? And if you happen to be a male and you happen to be a tank. Otherwise, there are better options. But if you've never gotten snow, you could get this card. The next one is actually right below it. Sildra Come Up and Say Hello is a card for evokers. It gives a lot of attack and magic percentage and 30% evocation damage if you happen to be a female, or female unit. So most of the evokers are female units, so this is a pretty decent starter card if you're going to wear swords and be an evoker. But otherwise there are better options. The next one we're going to keep scrolling down is a King's Dominion. This one's actually pretty cool. It has 20% evasion and 30% HP, 50% defense if you happen to be an FFBE unit and are wearing a large sword. Okay, so kind of nice. You know, it's obviously really is decent for Bohemia, but having evasion on a card is kind of unique. We're going to scroll down to the next one that I really like, which is Dramatic Costume Change. For a long time, this was a card that was really good for just generalized attackers. It has 25% attack, 25% more attack, and then 40% HP. Unlocked can be used on any character, so it's just kind of a decent attack and HP card. But you know, in today's meta, we have a lot better options. The next one down is the Most Merry of Melodies. Let me scroll down and find it. Here we go. This one's cute. It's 80% defense and spirit if you happen to be wearing an instrument, and 50% true double hand defense and spirit, or spirit if you are from FFBE. So like if you're wearing an instrument, you get a lot of defense and spirit on this card. Just by wearing an instrument, you get 50% more. No, so it's like, sorry, not true double hand, it's just spirit. But still, it's decent. It's a lot of defense and spirit on a vision card. And you know, only 50% of it is locked to being FFBE. And it's cute. It's got Bullwork on it. The next one is right below it, Ruin to Remedy. This one is 50% true double hand spirit and 50% more if you are from FFBE. So like this is a decent true double hand spirit card. And also just has, you know, reasonable spirit on it. But a lot of these cards are outdated, you know, but if you're just getting started and you really need a lot of spirit on a unit, this is decent. The next one is Practice Session. Practice Session is kind of a unique card in that it is one of the only cards that gives actual bonus, or like there's like flat MP, like on the card itself. It also gives MP percent and MP and magic percent and some killers. And if you are from FFBE, you get MP restore and cost reduction. So it's a very niche utility card, really good for a lot of the meteor damage dealers. In fact, this is the budget meteor damage dealer card. So like if you don't have Dazzling Demoness or Midnight Parade for one, or Moonlight Parade for one, this is the card that you want on your meteor users most of the time. The next one we want is A Hero Arrives. A Hero Arrives gives 50% provoke, draw attacks to you, and 30% evasion, and it is not locked to anything. So if you want to make an evade provoker, this is actually a pretty decent card. And this one comes from Tulian, so like a lot of people didn't pull for Tulian, never got a Tulian, but you can get Tulian's card because it is decent at making a provoke evasion unit if you want to do that with your vision card slots. There's better ways to do it, but on a budget, as an option, this is available. Evasion and provoke on a card. The next one is With a Little Help. We're going to scroll down and pass all of these. With a Little Help. With a Little Help is a card that is not locked to any series, and it has 100% Demon Killer magic and 100% Human Killer magic. Now, it's only magic, so like sometimes that's useful and sometimes that's not, but it's 100% to 2 different killers for magic damage dealers. And you know, some magic on it. There are definitely better cards, but as far as like having 100% to 2 different killers, this is decent. A Master in Disguise is right below it. This is Fravia's card. It has a decent amount of attack and magic percentage, and it is the first vision card that came out that we have available to on this list that gives you bonus stats. So it gives you 250 attack, magic, defense, and spirit if you are from FFBE. So like it is a decent card if you're an FFBE magic or attacker, magic damage dealer or attacker, but you know, it's best on FFBE units, and kind of like like I said, kind of like a budget card. The next one is Be Like Water. We're going to scroll past all of these and get to Be Like Water. This is 70% attack and more bonus stats, so 500 bonus attack for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius units. Also gives you some fire and wind resistance. This is Kaito's card. It's kind of decent, you know. It's with a katana, 70% attack and 500 attack for FFBE. Pretty cool. Better options, but this is nice. Versus Roundworm. Versus Roundworm gives, you know, some attack, and then jump damage boost, and then jump damage dealing abilities have their modifier boosted by 4,000. So like this is one of those ones where it's like, if you want to build like the jumper, you want to have a card that gives you bonus modifiers and stuff like that. And this is going to help you with that. So like really good, you know, jumpers are kind of like not that great. But if you want to build the best one you can, you probably want this card. And if you've never gotten a Rai card, well, you're missing out on a bunch of stuff because his helmet does this and his card does this. There you go. Always watching over me. This one is definitely high on the list of cards you might want to get multiple copies of. It gives 30% to all elements, 50% to dark, earth, and wind, or dark, earth, and light. Sorry, but also at the start of the turn, it fills your morale, and also gives you defense and spirit if you're from FFBE. So this card, if you are having trouble filling the morale gauge in Clash of Wills, this card is very, very good to put on your units. In fact, if you are a dual wielding unit, this ability triggers twice. So like it's pretty good. It fills a maximum of 350 morale per turn just by wearing this vision card, on top of giving you a bunch of resistances. Pretty nice. But there's better options. We'll talk about that in a second. The next card we want to talk about is a Happy Family, which is probably the saddest vision card on here. But it's 50% attack and defense. And then it also gives you stop immunity, which is really rare. And then also gives you guts, which is really rare. Guts is instant or fatal damage protection. When your HP is above 1%, it stops you from dying if you take too much damage. And then also, if you're from FFBE, it gives you 25% to all killers and 500 attack. This card is just super good for attackers, especially if they are from FFBE. This is like a general rule. 500 attack, plus all this attack percent, plus all the killers. Super, super good card. But it's a very sad card. And if you played story events, you would know why. Let's see. The next one here is Summertime Savior. So we're going to scroll. Summertime Savior. This is from Beach Blaster Olive. This one is good because it has MP and magic on it right here. But then it also gives you killers to birds and fish, which is really rare. Also gives you beast and machine and magic 300 bonus stats. So like pretty good if you're from FFBE. You know, pretty good magic card because the killers on it are kind of rare. The next one is Offerings for the Maiden. This is Tsukiko's vision card, 50% magic, LB damage boost 50%, evocation damage boost 50%, and if you're from FFBE, 500 magic. Obviously, the ones that give you bonus stats, I'm going to rate really highly, right? But the cards that give evocation is really good for evokers. So like where I thought that the like Sildra Come and Say Hello was pretty good, this is just straight better, especially if you're a unit from FFBE. Okay. Awesome. The next one is A Gift from the Knights, and A Gift from the Knights is actually in the next set. So like from here, those are kind of the ones that I would think are the best picks. So we're going to move on to the next category, which is in the one if you scroll all the way down here. A Gift from the Knights is fatal damage protection, right? So if your HP is above 30% and you take damage that would kill you, it will stop you from dying. And then if you are a magic tank, you get 500 HP, 300 spirit, and also 100% fairy killer, physical, and magical. It's kind of unique in that it does fairy killer, but then like it is kind of like best on magic tank units, which, you know, usually they're not doing damage. Sometimes they are, but it's an option. Also has HP and spirit on it as a card. Dance of the Drone is the next one. Very good card. A bunch of elemental resistances on it, and then also HP and spirit 30%, also 1000 HP and spirit 500. This is from Abigail. So like Abigail's card, very good for a lot of magic tanks, and especially good for Abigail because it helps her have all the, I mean, she's from FFBE, so it gives her the HP and spirit. You know, really, really good card as a general rule. However, there is something better we're going to talk about in just a second. The next one is Open Heart, Open Home. This one is where I said Always Watching Over Me was really good. This one's a little bit better if you don't need the elemental resistances. It gives you spirit 50%. It gives you the morale fill, cursed dark energy, and then also MP and spirit 500. Also the base spirit on it is a little better. So Sylvie's card is better if you need the defense, the spirit, and the resistances. This one is better if you just need morale fill because the cursed dark energy is actually a little higher. It does 400 overall as opposed to 350 from Sylvie's, and then also MP and Spirit. So if you just want morale, this card is better. If you need all the other stuff that comes with Sylvie's card is better. Both are really good. The next one is Battle for Aldor Tower. In addition to having 50% spirit and 25% LB damage boost and 500 spirit that is not locked to any series, this card also has some of the best Vision Card home screen music in the entire game. Definitely check it out if you've never gotten this card. But it's a super, super cool card. Vision Card music alone. But I wouldn't pick a card just for that. Now the next one is Heart Stronger Than Darkness. This one's cool. This one's 80 attack, or well, once you get it leveled up, it starts at 80 attack. Once you get it leveled up, it gets better. But it gives 50% HP and attack. It gives 100% true dual wield when you wear 2 weapons, 50% LB damage boost, and 500 attack if you're from FFBE. So this is just a very good card for filling out attack true double hand. Also, it's very cute and features gentle pats from Dwayne giving the Quirrell gentle pats. Super, super cool card. So definitely recommend picking this one up if you've never gotten Dwayne, especially if you're having trouble gearing your units for 100 or 400% true dual wield attack. Now, the alternative to this one is actually right after or shortly after it, which is called the Cost of Power. This is basically the same card, except for mages. So this is magic, defense, and spirit, 50%, 100% true dual wield magic, 50% LB damage boost, and 500 magic if you're from FFBE. So this is from Nora, a very good card for filling out magic true dual wield, which is a little harder to do than attack actually. So this is a decent card to pick up if you've never gotten Nora, especially if you're wanting to use, dual wielding mages. The next one is Battle with Ethne. Battle with Ethne is 50% HP, defense, and spirit, 30% resistances across the board, 50% LB damage boost, true dual wield spirit, true double hand spirit 50%, and if you're from FFBE, 500 spirit. This is like kind of, I think this is kind of the best Vision card to grab if you're looking for a card for your tank. This is a solid card. Just because it kind of fills out a lot of things that a magic tank would want, especially one that wants to do their limit burst for damage. So I would say between this and Abigail's card, I like this one a little bit better because the resistances are better and the bonus stuff is better. But Abigail's card is still very, very good as well. We're getting close to the list. We're getting close to be done. The next one is A Home Destroyed. This is Malphase's card. It's HP, MP, and magic percentage with Demon Killer and Bird Killer 100% for physical and magic, 50% true dual wield magic, and if you're from FFBE, 500 bonus stats for magic. So again, lots of killers. Oh my gosh, lots of killers, lots of stats, true dual wield. It does a lot of things for you. It is missing LB damage, but if you want the killers and the true dual wield, this is really, really good. Also bonus stats. And then the next one is Blood is Thicker Than Water. This is 80 attack, or it starts with 80 attack, and then also HP and attack 50%. At the start of the battle, it casts Bewitching Mother, which gives reduction to damage from magic and physical, human, machines, and dragons, 30% for 5 turns for the whole party. So anybody wearing this card is going to give the whole party mitigation to those 3 races for 5 turns, which is just really niche utility, and it's really kind of sometimes really useful, sometimes really not. But also, if you're from FFBE, the card gives attack, defense, and spirit 500 attack, and defense and spirit 300. So it's kind of a niche, kind of a neat little card. Definitely worth considering. And then the last one that I'm going to throw out here is Battle with Garland. Battle with Garland is on this list for a couple reasons. One is that it just gives decent stats, attack, magic, defense, and spirit 30%. 500 spirit if you are from Blessing of the Crystals category, which is a lot of units, and then also 500 attack if you're from Blessing of the Crystals category, so which is a lot of units. So this could just be like a general good card to stick on a lot of different types of units from that category. And otherwise, I think most of the cards that are in here are either worth skipping, or you're probably going to just pick them up along the way just by pulling units and upgrading them to EX1 or EX3 even. But there you go. Those are the cards that I think are kind of worth going over. Now, as far as what my favorites are, I've got those listed here as well. My top 10, if I had to pick, 10 cards that I think a player should look at right now. Open Heart, Open Home, or Always Watching Over Me for the morale fill. Battle with Ethne, again, for tank cards, right? If you don't want that one, maybe consider Dance of the Drone from Abigail. 3, Blood is Thicker Than Water for the utility that you get from the racial mitigations, which is becoming more and more important. This is the only card that does this. Heart Stronger Than Darkness or Cost of Power, depending on if you want attackers or mages. A Hero Arrives, just because it's kind of neat utility with Provoke and Evasion on a card. Practice Session for MP damage dealers like Genesis, Tyvus, all the various meteor damage dealers. Decent card. Happy Family for just kind of like a general FFBE unit attack card. Virtual Training for the Spirit and the Status Immunity. Ruin to Remedy for the Staff, or the True Double Hand Spirit. And 500 Years of Grief for like a physical tank card, which is like not that important. We have better options, but like it is there. Those are my top 10. So assuming you didn't have any of those cards, I think these are good ones to consider. Probably pretty good for beginners if you've got these cards, but honestly, as you start pulling, you're going to get most of these cards or better options. And you might notice that I skipped entirely cards that provide only benefits to a specific series, with the exception of FFBE. So like I didn't talk about the like Final Fantasy VI cards or the Final Fantasy V cards or whatever, just because most of those are usually only going to apply to like 1 or 2 units. For example, the Final Fantasy II card for Emperor only provides magic bonus, which is only good for like 3 units. Like not useful at all, and only one of those is a Neovisions. Once you have Emperor, you don't need his card either, because like you're gonna get it from leveling up Emperor. So like, why would you get that card with the cost of a ticket, a limited resource? They're fine cards, they just don't provide a whole lot of general purpose use. However, the FFBE series cards apply to so many units that I think it's worth considering picking them up. But I want you guys to tell me, like, what are some of your favorite cards on this list of the permanent ticket exchange? What would you pick if you could pick, 5-10 cards? Would yours be different than mine or the same? Let me know in the comments or on either on YouTube or on Facebook. But that's pretty much it. So if you've got a question that you want to see in next week's video, feel free to let me know, and I'll do everything that I can to put something together and discuss it. But for now, I'm going to go warm up. It's very, very cold outside, and making it kind of cold in my apartment. And I'm going to go rest and warm up. But you guys be good to each other. Take care. Be safe out there, and we will see you in the next video.